Hi Jennifer, are you on?
Yes, thank you. Sorry, I was delayed.
No problem. So I think we have 5 people, so that's a quorum, so we can just go ahead and begin. First, someone would be willing to take the minutes tonight. Want me to do that by chance? Well, right back in.
I don't know much about the direct had a meeting with what the senator just we're just opinion expressed.
Opinions expressed.
And just a reminder, because you have some members on Zoom to do on roll call votes. I'll be in my office if that's something.
Thank you. So I think for the minutes, if you could, meeting twice a month, it'll be a lot for one person to do, so I think if we could rotate others.
Okay.
Meeting to meeting, I think that would be good, so it's not too big a burden on anybody unless someone enjoys doing it. Someone can do that, we can do that.
Well, can we just suggest that you talk into your mics so that this can be recorded?
Yeah.
Make sure they're on.
You leave it out.
You hit the button, it should be green.
So this speaker actually serves as the mic.
Oh, right. So they don't need to do
Wait,
that. Okay.
Who's on?
Jan, you call. Just so you know, from Jan Keegan.
it's Jennifer Walker, that's on.
Yes, Jennifer Parker.
Yeah.
Or Jen, either one.
Jen Keegan, who's another member, just sent an email saying that she's gonna miss tonight's meeting, can make the meeting in 2 weeks.
No, Beth's got time today.
Your names are.
Alyssa Brown.
Yeah, we could. We can help tighten that stuff up. So meeting was called order at 7:08. So the minutes from the January 4th meeting went out today. We had a chance to look at those. If there are any comments on those, if not, we can move to approve them.
I approve them.
Any comments or discussion?
Not from me.
Okay.
We'll do it in 2 minutes.
We have a second on the move. Second, and we'll vote. So Jen and Carl will need your vote on the minutes. And in the room.
Aye.
Yep, I
Minutes are approved. One bit of housekeeping, just a reminder that we all need to go through the training, the manual that we received when we did our swearing. Just a reminder that we need to take care of that, including myself. And 2 agenda items for today. One was the talk about review and discuss historical documents that were out there regarding my funds. So there were vision documents, there's cyanobacteria bloom testing, things like that. up and around so we're putting in a couple of different spots on the internet. Got to sent around a few links to go and see where those documents were. And then the second thing we want to talk about was just planning for the year, starting to build out a project plan for this year. Groups you want to talk to, when we want to talk to them in what manner, and as we move throughout the year. So I think those are the two things we wanted to talk about today. So first are the historical documents and the vision documents. We're looking for discussion on that. If anybody has any thoughts on those?
Yeah, this is Carl. I obviously there's been a ton of work done, you know, on the environmental side, and you know, I'm not an expert like some of the folks on the panel, but it seems to me that you know, we know the potential sources of the phosphorus, and I mean, I don't know how much work is needed there to start moving ahead with actions, but maybe I'm oversimplifying. But I thought there was just I was impressed with how much work there was done in the past.
It's interested in getting more information on the ramp, on the state ramp. What was done there, because I don't think that information was included in. Certainly wasn't done about in 2017. Yeah, I get a copy of the NOI for that.
Yeah, so there are a number of things done, and you probably getting more clarity, and Beth would probably have some history on that as well. She was on the advisory committee. But so the whole project around the town beach, right? And so the walkway was put in, the steps were taken out, deck put in, ramps to and from the beach. And the big part was work on the road itself, going down. So I don't know a lot of detail. I know additional catch basins were put in. But I don't know how many details on that you can see in the document. So what would be a good thing to see. Historically, that was a huge location for runoff. Right, the bottom of that paved road. As soon as the pavement ended, it would turn into a 1 or 2 foot drop off. Basically, all that water landed and the road, whatever was around the pavement, went down into the pond. My impression also that's an area historically where a lot of the views would start or would be noticed at that spot at the end of the ramp. Two things could be going on there. One, it's also in a location where the prevailing breeze is typically blowing things to that end of the ponds. So I don't know if there's something we get in the water, if we get blown to that spot, or if it's from runoff. But it was definitely a hot spot in the pond from what I saw. For when the algae blooms would happen. So around that town beach was always a big area. And then another one is it's called Row Cove. When we get to the town beach.
That's where the hags are.
Yes. Yep. So that's bottom of the ramp and then sort of the New York corner on the right. Going down that shoreline. It's a really big area. Again, could be prevailing winds pushing it or
I couldn't quite figure out, there's a couple of, the NO, I noticed it was in one for the work that the NOC did, for the erosion controls, and that was on that ring. Well, I was wondering, should I just contact the area and get a copy and I can distribute them so that probably this video was doing, asking.
yeah, I think that's exactly what we want to do tonight. One, what are things that we want, and two, how do we get it? And So I wouldn't know go to ask.
Yeah.
Dealing with that.
Delia has those,
Mhm.
so if I could ask her for those two mineralized, the erosion controls and look what was done with this year, Maria, I think she has that. And the other document is looking for, maybe more in conversation and we're talking to her about, that real zone two delineation for the number 6 well. And so maybe easier to step a conversation around capital.
The zone two, what's it they had in, one of the, vision statement, yeah, something like that.
Was it?
I was thinking of, yeah, I thought, yeah. Yeah, Richard,
So say, I'm not a scientist. To say more reading and determination of this.
So,
Is there any water?
so when they, at some point, they determine the extent of where groundwater would be drawn from under prolonged pump conditions.
Mhm.
And that would have some data on, when they were pumping this much, the groundwater, then maybe they would have monitoring wells that would be measuring the depth of groundwater change.
Mhm.
And I thought that might add some good information as to whether doing this as well. In fact,
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah,
okay, so you're gonna get that from,
well, that Alan Cathcart would have that, and it would be, as a, it would be something that would be eligibility or the conversation with him.
Mhm. Mhm. I don't know, what's Adam's role?
He is now director of public works, but he was, for 25 or 30 years, the water.
Who's wastewater, what do you know about?
He was water something, he's water something.
Okay.
Excuse me, I don't know if it's just me, but it's very hard to hear. Your speech is very garbled. So I don't know if there's anything that can be improved. But I just wanted to throw that out. I'm getting every third or fourth word.
I think if I don't mumble, that would probably improve things.
I'm getting the same thing, Jen. I think
Oh.
it's the audio system,
Okay,
not your guys' speech.
okay. All right.
It's a difference. I'm just gonna make sure that all the was still. Not fully good. Or do you want to sit out and see if we can?
Jan, is that any better?
Yes.
Okay. Just holler if we get jumbled again. And we'll let you know if it's the speaker or us.
That's better. Thank you.
Right.
Did you hear her?
So I think that would be absolutely a document I'd be interested in seeing and learning more about. I know it's certainly something that came up. Conversation regarding subway development. And if there's anything that happens there, or is that something that we can then delineation of that well.
Are they gonna be having a water supply? Part of the water supply?
They don't know the exact details on it, but they definitely there's something not working out with the Concord. Well. Yeah,
That's gonna be supplied by somebody.
the Concord portion of that.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, so I think the subway portion is supplied by Suburb or something.
Yeah, but it's just what, 4 or 5 houses.
And then there's yeah, I think there's 5. How we have 1 to 2 points proposed to the Concord side. So I know they were looking at that in terms of whether we need to do the septic there, where does that come or again. Yeah, so there should be lots of documentation.
On the Coldbrook development, there's some documents of some sort somewhere.
I would think so.
Planning board. And that would be in their information packets online, so you're gonna have to contact them. Okay, if you just go to the planning board's website. You've got like a site plan review? Yes.
Going back to the state access, man. I actually just drove down there last Sunday just to check it out. One thing I was wondering is, are there, and in the beach development, are there bathrooms there? And how is the whereabouts is that?
I don't know exactly what it, so historically there were bathrooms. I think it may be trailers right now. But I think in all those off-site is, I don't know if anybody knows better. I haven't.
No, it was a question I had. There are trailers there now. They're very nice. They either go to a tank or something.
There's that would be in the documents that we get.
Yeah.
Yeah, this past summer, there was a trailer restrooms at the bottom of the ramp. And one of the problems that I saw was that after the lifeguards leave and the trailers are locked, people are still swimming. So that could be a potential source of waste.
But I sort of vaguely, but there used to be like bathrooms like halfway up the slope. Am I imagining that?
No, that's exactly, yeah, there were two big green concrete block buildings, well, not that big, but yeah, there were two bathrooms. And then one little storage shed kind of attached to it. I'm guessing just went through its own septic, but I think. When we redid the hillside, I think those went away and the trailers came in. So I think rather than rebuilding, once up to this, rather than rebuild bathrooms. I think they just brought on the trailers, and I think all the waste goes off-site. Is my understanding, it would be good to see some documentation of what actually is happening.
Well, I'd be happy to sit in or see. If you gotta do the rec department, is there any way to get the right one? It's. The management of the fund in general is very fractured. So you've got the NOC for some of it, you've got facilities for some of it, you've got rec commission for some of it. So that's one of the things that you're learning now. Who to go to for what? Yeah. Okay, which is one of the things that I put in the charge. Yeah. But the beach is run by the rec commission, the rec department. So they would be the people to go to for that. And then the other complication is that a lot of these changes and a lot of the documentation you're looking for was done when the deputy town manager was in charge of some of the changes that happened. So, and she's left. So that's another thing. The reason we bring this up is as far as some of the things that you're looking for really might not happen. You're finding them might be a problem. Yeah, well, she would have the notice of intent, I'll take for that change with beach stuff, and then Casey Atkins at the rec department. She's no longer on that commission. It actually, there's the rec commission, which is the town people like you, and then there's the rec department, and that's run by Anne McCune. Yes. So here's one of the things that the issues that you might want to address, which is.
Well, the record runs the beach.
Yes.
Not the property.
That's correct. Right, I just thought how that whole bathroom situation works would certainly be done with this permit. How it's set up and maintained.
It's super important to keep the bathroom open whenever you have swimmers. It's like, legally or illegally.
Yeah, right, and so that's certainly one of the other end of the ponds. That's certainly another big change, there were times over the last couple of years, I'd be out on the pond, nice Saturday afternoon, and there would be 28 people at the beach, and they're trying 106 at the cove. Like dogs and alcohol and whatever else was going on. With no facilities. Right. So that's certainly something to look into. It's certainly not an ideal state. Any other sort of gaps in documents or things that jumped out on the document side? So one thing that so when I went on the website and we go to the White Pond Advisory Committee link, but I think a lot of these historical documents, that link is down, right? So I don't know exactly what was housed there. If there were important documents or not, but I think it's the pause of the White Pond Advisory Committee. The website appears to also been paused, removed. So that I can get an understanding as to what was there. And if we need to move that over to a White Pond Task Force website. So that'd be interesting to know.
Is there someone that can do website stuff for us? Or can we- I mean, is it like other documents, like the historical water quality data and stuff? It's available on the internet, you can deal with other data.
Yeah, I don't know, but we can certainly.
Is that something that Shannon could help with?
So we certainly ask Shannon if that's something she can do or.
If we gave her links or PDFs.
Are you asking about website updating?
Yes, Shannon. So if
Yeah, so
we're sort of assembling a set of documents. To have a repository and archive. And we're sort of pulling them from a number of different sources. If we want to set up, one repository on through the White Pond Task Force website, is that something that would be able to be done?
yeah, that's something I would be able to help with. And it would just be good then if whenever you sent the documents to me that you wanted to be posted, if there was just an explanation of how you would like them to appear on the website, if you wanted any specific headings, etc.
Terrific, that's great, yeah, so I think that's one of the things we're talking about now is what are some of these documents, and then we'll go out and either find links to them or PDFs, or go track down the actual documents that we don't have. We can build a repository and what sort of structure we want to organize them, we can let you know all that.
Yeah, I can definitely work with you on that.
We did get a link to their email division document. And I was looking at it. And it has things like but then it has specific items that this is a clause of the cyanide bacteria. These things are considered 1 through I don't know, there's 8 points. And first one is septic system. And it's sort of saying, look at the septic systems we got now, not working to keep the next methane phosphate out. And I don't know, I sort of got the impression that until those things were fixed somehow, we're going to have cyanide bacteria. So I was wondering about, and then there's no reference to there has been a plan in the past to do some sewer, and they go through, but it's kind of one and something like that. And I imagine that assume that the division would be more than is actually necessary. And I read comparison map of, what people have said is they want to contribute the area to the town. And the number of houses that are in it, and, what I think is more realistic, in considering the geology of it. And I don't know what to do with this, I made it, they pass it around. Um, But, kind of interesting, looking just to look at the geology, if you live there and say, oh, I'm on bedrock, or I'm on this, this verified drift or whatever, but, so the dashed line is, a line that I'm uncertain if that's correct with the boundary of the contributing area to the town. It's somewhere in there, but it's not obvious exactly where it is. And then a solid line that goes up into bedrock, that's more, for sure, because on bedrock and also, till, you just use the ground surface contour. Just don't be do a watershed or a stream or anything like that. Where the high point in the ground is, that's what the about is. On the stratified hills and sands, and gravels, you can't just use the surface, you have to look at the water table and see where the groundwater divided. But anyway, the point is that on that southeast side of the pond, probably where the tunnel is exiting the pond, instead of coming in, and therefore you wouldn't need to do anything with those septic systems to protect the pond. So then you come down to fewer houses that would enclose, you subscribe to this account. So it might not be such a big project as they had, envisioned in the past. There's also a possibility that the houses that are right up against the town are contributing the cost. And the ones that are further away, they're up. Way above the water table, like 40 feet above the water table. And the process of low septic system, if the proper septic systems are high at 5, probably won't make it to the water table for decades. So it might be, again, a small project. The rerouting septic system stuff for the houses that are right on the town and get rid of the general would be sufficient. But I guess that you kind of need to look at what the tax plan is, and see or how we proceed if we say we want to do something to advance the treatment.
Then just on the map, so yeah, I see the arrow outflow in the southeast and inflow northeast and southwest.
Right.
What's the northwest?
That's everything within the dashed line or solid line that kind of starts here and goes around. That's inside the contributing area. So all the groundwater, all of the material comes there and moves towards the pond. Now,
It's not dissimilar from the ESS for the watershed. And the superficial flows, I mean, they were just talking about surface water flows.
right,
Are in a different direction, but I think. Yeah, I mean, the nearby. Superficial flows are similar. When you look at their phosphorus data, you don't see phosphorus in either the septic systems. Confirming.
right. So, I don't know, I mean, if again, if you're going to say that septic systems, until we fix the septic system, we'll have the cyanobacteria. And if we have cyanobacteria, beaches, so the town beach is sort of useless. It's for swimming and they did swimming, so it kind of gets back to, you gotta fix the septic, but then how would we go about that? And so I'm kind of getting at, what's the old plan? Is that a good plan? And then the whole financial aspect of it, and if it went forward, how is the, who pays for it?
Yeah, so I'm not sure what we understand what the old plan is.
I think maybe Marsha Rasmussen, we have the institutional knowledge. Of that. At least be a person to start with, who could provide us with some background information.
She's board of right?
She's head of planning and management, I think they call it now, but she's been here in planning department forever, and I know was involved in that to some degree.
What's it, Marcia?
Marsha Rasmussen, R-A-S-S-M-U-S-S-E-N. Would Ellen be the right person? What, is it Ellen would be a good person too? Would help to, yeah, but I don't know if it ever got to a technical stage, it was, but certainly we would know. I'm not sure what we.
I mean, the document, the funding document talks about the wastewater committee at the time. But still weak because of existing. No.
It's not active.
Okay. We have to look at it.
Can I just ask a clarifying question? So what exactly are you trying to understand as far as the history of wastewater management in the White Pond watershed?
Well, I talked to Delia Kay about what was up with wastewater. And she said that a proposed solution to the septic system was presented to the White Pond neighborhood, and it was rejected. And so I was wondering, like, what was that? You know,
Well, I sort of vaguely remember it was a package plant up on the field to the. There, they were gonna cite a package
Uh-huh.
plant, yeah.
and it was rejected. But like, how was it presented? I mean, it was like, it's just kind of curious about how.
I think the person who could give you a lot of background on this is Alan. It really is Alan, he could tell you exactly why it was rejected and who rejected it, and that's the person that really rejected.
Yeah, the funding document said that there was, there's a package plant idea. Then the other idea was to kind of have super septic systems that somehow got rid of the nutrients, better than Title V and in addition to Title V, or something like that. There were two different ideas. But I guess they never thought of connecting the area around the pond to the rest of it, to the sewer system of the town. Like that.
I think it's just distance, there's nothing, only anything close, so then it's up like the sewer system owns everything there. So my understanding was,
Actually, I know this, the town has a wastewater management plan that they did in 2002. And some neighborhoods within town were identified as being eligible to hook up, and some weren't. And so that is the Bible that Alan uses to allocate wastewater resources around town. It's so apparently, so some neighborhoods simply can't hook up because they don't have any plan, which is what we ran into with the Easter Heights, the one community. And some aren't. There are also issues with capacity at the wastewater treatment plant, and that's why. And that's why. That's why he limits the amount of the neighborhoods that can hook up because of capacity at the sewage treatment plant.
But
So it's a capacity issue.
it's interesting. I mean, one place is like, to protect the pond, that's a neighborhood issue, and then there are other neighborhoods that may be eligible that don't have ponds.
Or there might be, yes, and there might be other places that have content aren't eligible either. Because there are other towns that can. So. But it is something to do with distance, but it really is the 2002 plan that is that dictates who is.
Yeah, but there's rationales in that plan for why.
Thank you.
Why they want to
It's arbitrary
Right.
thing, maybe it's not. So go ahead. Take it.
Well, I was just gonna say this, I mean, I don't recall what the reasons were.
Yes.
But if they didn't just say, we don't.
We don't like it. No, you're right, and it was a well thought out plan, and since then, the town has grown, and there are a lot of demands on this, and we simply don't have. The town simply does not have the capacity, this is a town-wide problem. So this isn't just White Plains problem, it's a town-wide problem, that we don't have capacity.
Right. So. How was it presented to the White Town neighborhood and how were they able to reject?
I don't recall, but I suspect it had something to do with variance.
So they said it's too much and we don't, and so we're.
I think it really, I shouldn't even say that, because this is a suspicion for now.
I think the neighborhood didn't want this orange field up in that field for several reasons. It was close to the school. But there were neighborhood concerns as well. But Alan would have a history. You're all hearing the hearsay from me. Alan would have that history. He's really sharp. He understands this and he has a good memory.
Can I go to Alan and just have to look at something? So, okay.
Yeah, you want to do a bigger conversation, some of them. Maybe worth sort of letting him know, meeting do that.
I think it'd be better, and then he could talk about a lot more information about this well and treatment plant.
Yeah, I think we might have to meeting and just more efficient way. Sounds like we have a lot of yes.
So we're gonna do
So I can write them. Okay. We get it on the agenda for a meeting in the near future.
Yeah, and the same with Delia, I can look at documents, but I think that the way to have her come in and talk about the different projects that are going on, that have occurred, and also the collection system that was consistent.
Yeah. So I think sort of my second agenda item was discussion around planning. I think a really big part of that is doctor. Who we want to invite to our meetings, what meetings we want to go to, who do we want to give surveys to, who do we want to do public forums with, what do we walkthroughs we want to do, and what are our tools to go solicit input from families in town, residents in town, leaders in town. What's the best way to interact with all those groups, and the person is identifying what groups people do they want to talk to. So I guess, is there anything else on documents we want to cover?
Well, they're all the 1 through 6 or something like that. Are we going to consider each one of them? So what, like, for instance, kind of on network fertilizer, how do we invite us and know about whether or not we should get those, get into regulations of how we look at these. Or should we just figure it out and work?
I don't know if we need to sort of investigate each of the 8 points, and if it's something that, we probably like going back to the 2015 vision plan as well, to probably go after that. It was over all the recommendations.
There's one that has 33.
So, and a little different tone.
I got thought of that, it's like, well, if you get reductions, that might be good.
Yeah,
Which is what we got here. I think they're based probably on the previous one.
Yeah, and Beth was instrumental in this 2021 document. So she can certainly get a lot of motivation in the industry that went into the drafting of it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, one of those points was about, I guess the kids at the high school did some study on septic systems, and I thought I'm sure we can somehow get from the Board of Health or something, sort of a list of septic systems in the area in which have been upgraded. So that was another. Navigate on that, for certain.
Yeah, I was kind of curious.
Board of
about-
Health, and like that.
Again, I think the septic systems that are down in the pond level are probably the ones that would be likely to contribute phosphorus. The ones that are on the road, maybe not. And, you're not going to live with that one, but like, people live on the pond side of the road that they're on. Do they put the septic system in the back area, maybe by the pond? Do they put it, well, not in front, right? And I mean, so the actual location, I don't know.
And so when you say the water table is the pond level, is that at the water table level?
For the most part, so, as you go up through here, and the continuing area, the water table will rise a little bit. A foot would be a lot. Yeah, so it's pretty much at the same level as in the pond. If you're talking about something, which is.
Yeah, so I don't know specifics on them, but I know I do know at least one of his front yard. So there probably was some proper play when it was put in.
There's, if we went ahead with the plan. Then the question would be, what do you expect it to do and how long would it take and so forth? And things cleaned up only at the rate at which the groundwater is replaced by new water treatment too. And groundwater uses the 1 foot a day or something. So, it takes a year to 300 feet. But it takes a long time for these things to happen. So if you say, well, this is how many hours we need to do instead of, so it's cool. Would be, I think, a good question. And yet, at least according to the division document, we don't do something about the septic system. We're not going to do the same back here.
Yes, but when you look at the phosphorus and nitrogen data, it's not convincing that that's the greatest input. I mean, certainly it wasn't, it's the greatest input of phosphorus, at least when in 2015 was the erosion.
So we don't need to do this.
No, I think we probably need to do anything, but I think when you look at the data, it's not as.
What data is that? Because I was looking at that.
Well, in the phosphorus data in the ESS report.
So were they looking right at the shore?
I was looking for the figure, I couldn't find it. They had a number of sample locations. And they actually looked at it, they looked at dissolved phosphorus and the nitrogen in groundwater as well. Looks like 6 locations. I'm not reversing to be able to pull up the table.
Okay, well, I'll look at that and see what's up with that.
And so the vision document is not necessarily a scientific document.
Well, they kind of say it's scientific, but they say like science says, but then, it's not real well documented on the definite studies that actually,
Yeah. But I can't, well, personal level, I certainly have opinions on it from this community's charge. It may differ from that. But I think certainly investigating each of the 8 points is something we should write is we learn our best to understand what the causes of the cyanobacteria is certainly something for
Yeah, I think that the cyanobacteria, so, if I talk to people in my neighborhood who are the long-term owners of the beach and it's private. The ABDs living there. Then it switched over to the town and actually. And the town, it's like, there's not bacteria though, you can't swim. So they closed the beach for that essentially the whole summer. And people live on the pond, and kids were gonna be lifeguards, anticipated that was gonna be a summer job, they didn't have a job. So it seems like, I don't know if cyanobacteria is really that toxic, but if that's the way the rules are done, we have to close the beach and cyanobacteria. But we gotta, it seems to me this committee should address it, getting rid of that stuff. Or using it, or thinking about the leftovers or something. And then, how do we do that? We have to do all those points. We have to do, how to do, we're how we have to.
So there are two ways of addressing that. One is there are treatments for the remediation methods. And 2, there's eliminating the causes. And so I think in an ideal world, we wouldn't necessarily do treatments until we stop the cause. We do treatment back.
Which treatment?
They talked about, the 2 alternatives they discussed was the copper sulfate and then alum.
Right, so you want to do those? I thought that. At least, the committee kind of rejected those.
I don't know if they rejected or if they rejected it because it wouldn't be money well spent because we just come back with the impact of the profit at all. I'm not sure.
Well, I think some people are worried about the fact that the winning the fact that the balance in the positive.
I think from maybe in that document, they say it's fine because it goes and settles at a certain level that never impacts them, but. So I think the APODs was really the treatment of it, which would be interesting to see. Rather a little bit of history behind that, so see the impact of that. It'd be fascinating to see like it's helping working. It'd be interesting to see some data around that certainly.
We have a presentation.
Definitely.
There's some PowerPoints online, on it. And that we could maybe have the guy come in and talk about it, and maybe just Delia could. Spend a little bit. Or maybe we can basically, it's just a collection system.
Well, just keeps off the, the surface.
So that's passively, yeah.
I guess, it comes down to like, will we have some of that here no matter what, because. Global warming. And you can't point to Walden, which is, pretty similar to the way. And not screwed up, so. So I guess the answer there would be. That you can't have a clean rate if you get rid of nutrients.
It's a certainly different environment around Walden. It's a lot more people use. Good, well, but we'll have these no agriculture. Right, sure.
Plus, it did have the septic system for the park is. Okay, and. Actually, went out and instrumented that was all the American measure. In the process of making it. But one thing that's tricky about doing that kind of work is you put down a well and you get clean water and you say, ah, it's so hot. But you might not be in the clean that's coming out of the system. So how do you know in the clean system? And the way you figure that out is by doing something that is purposely being a conductant or an argument. You can say, oh, it's huge numbers, one in the clean, and then it's the top. I did that. At Walden, it was 40 feet on Texas, and found very high nitrogen levels, very high conductance levels, and no phosphorus. So my interpretation is that the phosphorus never made it down to the water treatment during the 20 years the fact that it didn't happen. Then the state and we built the new physics center, kind of like this, we are the right, and they moved the septic system, even though you could argue that it really contributed in the hospital. They moved the septic system over to Golden Breezes, which is that trailer park, which is outside the contributing area. And set up the septic system there, so it doesn't go towards water. So we did have sewage to deal with, and that's how we dealt with it. And that's also the story of like how much of a flood it was. And why they could be discharging that stuff for 20 years in the contributing area for sure. But we saw the nitrogen from all the way down to the measure on the shore from the pond, but there's no phosphorus in it. So that's why I'm thinking that we maybe have a similar situation at White Pond, that those septic systems that are up on top of 40, 50 feet of unsaturated ground, one would consider that to be the problem in this story. Correct. It's probably, I don't know. But those ponds that are down, the septic system is down. And we need a package plan there, or just another septic system out of the well, on top of the hill, so that we're going to have inside or outside of the business. It wouldn't necessarily have to be something that the school would be complaining about, but it wouldn't be that big a deal. You can go and look at the one in Walden Breeze and see if that's a problem.
Well, certainly it'd be great to see if we can get a handle on location, so how many septic systems, their location, and whether they've been replaced through time in the process. That's probably on board to do that. But
Who would do that? Could we ask someone to do it for us? And besides, it's sort of the truth of the people who live around there, so, it'd be nice to.
Here's a suggestion. I heard from Jen from this imaging. She had a group of kids doing, and I don't know what data they come up with. So they might have some of the information we're looking for, and the rest might be in the Board of Health offices in the Title V application. So it's either been collected or it's there, and maybe you can work with them to help you with the information. So
Do you have that, David?
The-
No, it was referenced somewhere.
I think James gave it. Actually.
Oh, you do?
And does that show how many septics there are?
I did look at it very carefully. I think it shows how many there are. It doesn't, I wasn't sure about that. Where they were.
Exactly.
You know, on property. But that, again. You really have to go.
Yeah, I think you have to go.
We don't know.
Like you have to go through Board of Health files, Title V files,
But what if they don't have, what if they didn't upgrade?
then you probably don't have it.
When I worked in the Cape. I thought, you know,
Well,
it was very dense places like in Pollock, there was little tiny lots, and each person was on. I thought they were all upgraded. It turned out. But because the houses changed hands and they're changed hands, you have to upgrade. Which is like you don't have to. You only have to upgrade if your system fails. So there's lots of just stuff about that.
yeah, you know, there's probably a notice of intent for anything that was done after 92, so it would be only really old ones that we would know about. Because they would, within 100 feet of the pond, they would have had to go through the permitting process. So we would have a plan somewhere. And see,
You know, from exactly that we don't know. If
what's
that's some-
when the Wetlands Protection Act. This is a medical thing. But these are all, labor intensive projects.
Yeah, I think. Going by. Your map. And where the inflows are, and then. There are ones that may be. No lower than 40 feet above, no one's, it would be close. I think it's only that. Inflow analysis. The majority on that side are up high. The majority of them are. 39 into steep hill. Single plateau and steep hill.
Right,
So I can't imagine the septic tank would have been put way down the hill. With the houses right there, it's really not to the hill, a little bit more, so west, southwest. Speak down close to the water. Whole northern shore of it. Down the rest of it all. On the plateau. So I think certainly something for us to. Continue to look into, and it's our best way to attack it.
I was curious about the whole fish stocking thing, it's totally outside any field of expertise I have, but, I'd be really interested to know community feelings on when this project started and what kind of fish that they, just talk about trout, different kinds of trout that they,
they're all non-native trout.
right, yeah,
And it's been going on forever. And I think the whole, like, reason to have the state access and, through the boat end, it's like food and go fishing and getting this trout. They raise the trout, so they're feature size, when they put it in, you got to them friendly. And then, they go to trout. They live in the pond, and then people come along and get on. So it's not that I think they're just like, we just can't put right. Couldn't be working it. Like in Walden,
There's a trail and a 6-pack of butter.
the Walden, they put them out, the fish school up right by the ramp, boat ramp. So you don't even have to walk on the other side of the pond. They're just right there. But probably a lot of them are caught. I don't know, have you noticed that why the people, they kind of know when that stopping is, and there's a lot of.
Yeah.
That.
somewhere it said that, yeah. And somehow somebody got sort of an estimate of how much remained at the end of the season.
It's a lot, right?
Not compared to how much we put in.
And so I think it's my understanding of it is like the non-native trout, they eat the things that help control the bad bacteria. And then, so the bad bacteria isn't getting controlled, consumed, it's flourish. And then not all trout are caught, and then they die, and then their carcasses self contribute to the bacteria, so it's not all negative. Nothing from stopping of it. It seemed to be like a super hot button, do not touch, baits in charge. So I've always heard that and never heard anyone from the state actually.
You know, my experience suggests that DCR is really hard to work with because you can never find anyone there who's the right person. And I know somewhere it said that they made some phone calls and stuff, but you know, hard. It's hard to move DCR. Or you get their attention.
Especially wildlife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The select board sent a letter. Several times, Beth is an expert on this, but I'll leave it. Beth sent a letter, or asked the select board to send a letter. We did. Senator Barrett sent a letter to, and there just, I'm getting anywhere.
Well, the problem gets down to what's the bottom for it. The people around the swim for the people in the street that come fish.
Well, it's a great pond, so fishing is allowed, but that. You know, doesn't mean.
Just we'll be able to
Quit
do
fishing.
But
Is Walton a great pond? Sure. And fishing is allowed.
indeed, it has, the state has this, I think, so now it's so there's a state grant for it too, which is eroding. And they're going to pay it. And cut down a bunch of trees and thought that, they're so similar, it's unbelievable to me. And yet, the Walden people never come and talk to White Pond River, go with the walls, and how do we deal with these private people and stuff? And Walden's got crowds. And kind of interesting.
Other people that you can talk to?
I mean, I'm on the advisory committee of Walden. So, it's kind of well, let's see. But just, when people are, I just think that the two ponds I'm talking to, I mean, they like the town people, the people in the park. Like kind of interesting. Like when I complain to them about, they have to make sure the nutrients are, and I say, look at White Pond, see if it can happen. But they just got to put on, that's good to know. Yeah, the fish thing, I don't know how. So it all comes down, I guess, to like a big budget of how much phosphorus can be sourced and, carbon fish. The trout that die and the stock would be that significant comparison on the results. And, I think that the nutrient budget that is done for the light is a little bit shaky. So.
Yeah. I mean, the great, whenever they do a sampling, the greatest source was the resuspension from the bottom sediments of one sample event. Well, it's not just fish, it's stuff. Well, I don't know how we get in. Anything more about the fishing.
Another point is drainage. I have to do, we're talking about cleaning the catch basin.
Well, see, I think there might have been some substantial improvement, but I don't really know, because I think I heard Gilly, there's a big trench drain at the bottom. And I think that trench drain, but at the state grant.
Yeah, but I just talk about roads in general. But wasn't there, a thing in the vision statement that said that the catch basins have been cleaned, or they're now being cleaned by the town or something like that? But what catch basins, are there any storm sewers that come into that kind?
No, you can look at the town, there's an MS4 map on the town website somewhere, which I looked at, so there's no direct info.
So where do the drains from the roads go?
They go, I wonder if there's an infrastructure map that shows that, like leaching hedge, but they're called leaching hedge basins.
The French drains is on the road that, on the boat ramp that is needed for them.
Yes,
There was a drain all the way across, and then kind of a bigger grate beside it. And where does all that stuff go?
so I think, but I'm not absolutely sure that there's a large subsurface infiltration system.
Where it should be.
I think it was done well, so if any knocks out that is a drastically reduces that as a source. And then they've got a gravel being take for anything that isn't problem. But that's what those first things I mentioned, we could get the details on.
Another thing that was mentioned in the vision thing is that the town well might be pulling water out of the pond. And that means that there's less water available to release the second. That's what I got out. I don't think that's too much. I think the town well does pull one on them. And it's fire company and some.
Well, that's what I was hoping that Alan could, Alan Cathcart could help us with. He would have the zone 2, the old zone 2 delineation, where I'm sure they have odometers near that they did for the delineation that would show what the dry down was in that area.
People are always worried about the pond level, you know, they're really low, but so also we just been through a drought. And, you know, a good way to figure out what's going on that way is to, put in a staff page and just record the development stuff and compare that to the piece of. And you can see that. So. Better the recommendation.
Well, the. They've got this chart with precipitation versus. Water level. And pumping rates, so that's in the ESS report. Yeah, it's precipitation, but, you know, it's clear that precipitation is the major contributor, but you don't, you know, they didn't quantify the impact of it. Well,
It's almost like it's all like 15-year cycle. You can balance. It's relatively high. Yeah. That's basically a good job. Can't go
yeah,
in the chart.
and this one went up to 2013.
So one thing that could be happening. I wasn't getting into this, but. That all the septic systems are going in monthly, the phosphorus doesn't go anywhere, it's just thinking about, once after it's done. Or if it doesn't get to the water table, it doesn't move very far down the river. But phosphorus doesn't move very fast in the soil that we have around. Unless the pH of the precipitation increases. And it's gone up because of all the scrubbers that we put on. Or we have to run here to get sulfur out. That also does take the sulfur out that they will get. And so the pH is up and increase it. And so that's why perhaps a lot of, increasing number of lakes are having a problem with the same bacteria and not because of this reason that.
Precipitation becoming necessary.
Becoming necessary. And another thing I noticed is that all the roads that are around White Pond, it's salted heavily. I think that I'm not sure, but I think that salt might also, like, the aquifers of a good iron expand pond. And prevention sort of forward and more stage for the iron that are already stuck on that pond. And release them from down to these
I would say, well, the one small thing I know about phosphorus is that dog poop, when it's not picked up. Is a lot of phosphorus in that, weight controls of the dogs.
I think that's, actually, that pond there, where Flower Pond is on some, then across the road, on the other side of the gravel, where everyone walks through the yard. It's in Lincoln.
Oh, yeah, mom is
Every summer it gets absolutely covered with stuff. I mean, from one side to the other, just chock full. And it's also right next to the park. People take their dogs out, they keep up all there and get it off as far as or that's a big source. If you take the dogs out from the neighborhood or from the fire, for everyone.
Probably everywhere. People don't really walk along the shores much, so. Walk across the parking lot area or down the trails in the cove. And you never see someone walking the dog just along the residential shore. From the cove side, see you on the trails and sort of right on the line. Yes. It's also massive coyotes. Yesterday. The local corner of it, just letting out there.
I just wanted to let you guys know that whoever was on their iPhone on the meeting has dropped off. So there's just 4 of you on now.
Okay, actually. So actually in the interest of time. I think we've raised a lot of things that we want to and need to dig into over the weeks to come.
I'm going to have to sign off very shortly.
Okay, well, let's wrap up shortly. I think one of the other thing I wanted to talk about is, and this has been addressed quite a bit in the discussion thus far, is identifying who are the groups, who are the people that we want to talk to. So maybe that's more of a homework assignment. Let's think about what are the groups in town that we want to talk to, and what's the best way to speak with them. Is it to have a representative go attend their meeting? You can have somebody from here. Is it requesting documents? So talk about planning boards, water, the NRC, Board of Health, Rec Commission, Bruce Freeman, Police, Trails Committee, Sustainability Climate Action Committee, the Dover Property Owners Association, Friends of White Pond. There's lots of Bruce Freeman Rail Trail, right? Lots of groups that touch the pond one way or another. And so I think we want to identify what of those groups we want to speak to, and to see what jurisdiction do you have, what are things that you're concerned about around the pond. And then figure out sort of what's the best way to interact with those groups so we can understand what they're focused on and how we can best work with them to achieve our initiatives and the town's initiatives into the goal. Well, if you want to, just again, in the interest of time, maybe take that as a homework assignment. Everybody can think about, who are those groups, what are those groups? And then, do we know who, do we have contact at that group, or is that something we need to really track down who it is and what the best way is to speak with that group?
Again, the Dover group, the big group,
Yeah, I'll send out an email, so you don't need to write it down. I just jotted down all kinds of groups, so NRC, Board of Health, Rec Commission, Bruce Freeman, Police, Fire, Trails Committee, Sustainability Climate Action Committee, Select Board, Town Manager, Dover Property Owners Association, Friends of By Ponds. Are there other pond groups like that around town? Is there something like that around Warner's? Is there something like that around Mersnack? You mentioned the Walden people. I don't know what that means on the is. Public Works, Water, CNLP, do they have any impact over there? Planning Board got mentioned, facilities group. PCR, Fish and Wildlife, all these groups touch the pond in one way or another. We need to understand how to do that. And what the impact is. So I think it's a prioritizing who are all the groups and which ones we prioritize who we want to talk to and how best it is to interact with that.
Yeah, the people who bring the cyanobacteria, I think it's from UNH. Also go to a lot of different types of feed and so I'm just curious when people do that work, if they have any idea of which ponds are susceptible and one. Because they see it all, they see which, the count, the actual bacteria counts and all of them. And 92 is like 350 pounds or something. It's a huge variety of them. I'm just curious, they say like, we have no idea why, this one pond another, or we can tell which one because the development or whatever. Because all we get from them is like a number, like it's getting more instead of less. It's like they can give us so much more information.
Yeah. Is that ESS? Is that how we
I think that from New Hampshire, there's a woman who does the contact.
Check it out, so there's no more anymore.
Yeah.
The no votes.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
Yeah, with
Is that the Leland and Steve Stager?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of you there.
so when we take that as homework, identifying what groups you know.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably, individuals could call up these different people if they want, then not, and then report this person is willing to come and so.
Yeah.
Would be part of it.
Yeah.
Instead of just,
Well, so I think it makes sense. So let's identify the group. Do we have a contact? Do we have someone that has a relationship with that group, or can we get assigned people to, what's our best way to approach each of these groups? We'll assign folks to do it, either come from a committee or from an individual who's got a relationship. Any public comment? Motion to adjourn.